Psychology reveals women who want to sleep with you will greet you like this, and most men think they'd spot it instantly. If a woman wanted to sleep with them, they picture dramatic flirting, obvious touching, maybe even a whispered invite. But here's the twist: when sexual attraction is real and she's ready to act on it, her greetings get weirdly loaded. Psychology shows us that desire has a way of slipping into the smallest gestures, and those first seconds of seeing you can reveal far more than she'd ever admit out loud. In this video, we'll break down 6 greeting patterns women use when they're already imagining what it would be like to take you home. 1. She greets you with a physical claim. When desire is physical, she might greet you in a way that subtly marks territory. It's not a casual hug, it's a hug where her body aligns full length with yours, where her hips are closer than social rules require. She might let her hand rest on your back just a moment, too long, or keep her chest pressed against you as she pulls away. That's not platonic touch, that's a quiet preview of skin on skin. The psychology here shows that touch primes the body for intimacy, and if she's already picturing you naked, she's going to find an excuse to close that physical gap immediately, because her body is naturally drawn to that energy. When attraction builds, physically, it overrides logic. The mind begins to associate comfort and closeness with you, and that simple greeting starts to awaken more primal chemistry. She might not even realize she's doing it, but her body language will speak volumes. And what's even more fascinating is that research in behavioral psychology suggests such physical greetings can actually trigger a feedback loop in the brain, intensifying feelings of desire. The longer and closer the contact, the more both people subconsciously register the interaction as emotionally and physically intimate, which is why her greeting might leave you thinking about her long after she's walked away. And from a deeper psychological standpoint, this physical closeness can also serve as a subconscious compatibility test, where her body instinctively measures how well yours fits hers in rhythm, space, and energy. And interestingly, studies in social neuroscience show that when two people experience this kind of close physical contact, their mirror neurons fire in sync, creating a mutual emotional resonance that can make attraction feel instantaneous and magnetic. This physical greeting, therefore, isn't just about the body. It's the first handshake between two nervous systems, testing chemistry at a biological level. 2. She greets you with an unbroken eye sweep, most friendly. Greetings involve brief eye contact, but if she's greeting you with sexual intent, her gaze might travel slowly from your eyes, down your chest, maybe even to your waist or hands before coming back up. It's quick enough that she can play it off as nothing but long enough for you to feel it. This isn't her admiring your shirt, it's her brain running a scan of what it's working with in sexual psychology. This is called an evaluative gaze, a subconscious inventory of your body that happens when someone's already imagining it without clothes. Her eyes become the first form of contact, and that slow visual movement is her mind connecting imagination with desire. This eye sweep is often followed by a subtle smile, a breath, or a quick shift in posture, because that momentary exchange lights up the same parts of the brain linked to pleasure and curiosity. And scientists have found that sustained visual attention activates dopamine centers in the brain, the same ones responsible for anticipation and reward, which means her prolonged gaze isn't just observation, it's her body signaling anticipation of what it already wants, and her pupils might slightly dilate in that instant. Another unconscious cue that her mind is fully engaged in desire. This type of gaze also reflects a deep psychological mechanism called selective focus, where the brain tunes out irrelevant surroundings to concentrate entirely on the object of attraction, creating an invisible tunnel between you and her. And what's more, neuroscience has found that eye contact of this kind can synchronize heart rhythms between two people, fostering a sensation of intimacy and emotional connection. Even before words are exchanged, this explains why that lingering glance can feel so charged, it's literally your nervous systems communicating in silence. 3. She greets you like she's in on a secret when a woman wants to sleep with you. Your presence changes her internal state and it leaks out. In the greeting, maybe she sees you across the room and her smile turns into something a little crooked, like she's remembering something you haven't done yet, but she's already thought about. The hello isn't just hey, how are you? It's delivered with a softness or a smirk that feels almost private. This greeting carries heat because it's less about acknowledging you and more about acknowledging the tension between you. That's not friendliness, it's foreplay wrapped in a single glance. And often her tone, her expression, and even the way she tilts her head will give away the unspoken energy. Psychology reveals that when a woman is sexually drawn to someone, her parasympathetic nervous system activates, which causes small, involuntary cues like lip-biting soft laughter or glancing away quickly, all signs that her attraction has moved beyond casual interest. And in deeper psychological terms, this secretive energy often indicates fantasy projection, where her mind has already built imagined scenarios involving you, and her emotional system leaks fragments of that fantasy through gestures and expressions, creating that electric yet subtle tension that makes such greetings unforgettable. And according to emotional psychology, this kind of micro-expression greeting often triggers curiosity in men, leading them to mirror her energy unconsciously, which deepens the mutual chemistry even further. And recent studies in emotional communication reveal that such subconscious mimicry can lead to what's called affective alignment, where two people begin to share emotional states without realizing it. This creates that mysterious sensation of chemistry that feels unexplainable, yet undeniable. 4. She greets you by entering your personal space without invitation. This isn't the polite arm's length hello. She steps right into your intimate zone, closer than necessary, and stays there. Maybe her hand brushes your arm while she talks. Maybe her hair grazes your shoulder. As she leans in to say hello, proxemics research shows that most people keep strangers about 2 feet away, but attraction, and especially sexual attraction, erases that boundary fast. If she's greeting you so close, you can feel her body heat. She's not just being sociable, that's a physical test run for how it feels to be right up against you. And in psychology, this closeness signals trust, comfort, and readiness to engage physically. Her proximity becomes a silent form of communication. She's letting you know without words that she feels safe enough to break the barrier, and in that space, your scent, your tone, and your energy begin to matter far more than your words. And according to studies in sensory psychology, scent plays a hidden yet powerful role here. Women are more sensitive to male pheromones during moments of attraction, meaning her closeness allows her to subconsciously evaluate your scent chemistry, which further deepens her sense of physical connection. This also ties into biological synchronization, where two bodies unconsciously align breathing patterns or heart rates when physical attraction is strong, and this invisible rhythm often begins right in that very first greeting. And what's even more interesting is that environmental psychology suggests that this closeness can alter perception of time and comfort. Her brain literally slows its perception of the moment, making that short greeting feel more intense and memorable the more aligned your physical presence feels, the deeper her subconscious interest becomes. 5. She greets you with a double touch. Touch is one of the strongest sexual cues. But when she greets you with more than one contact point, it's deliberate. Maybe she hugs you and also keeps a hand on your arm when she pulls away, or she shakes your hand, but her other hand rests briefly on your chest. That second touch isn't for balance. It's a layered signal that she's comfortable with more contact. In evolutionary psychology, multiple points of touch during greeting act like a fast track intimacy builder. If she's greeting you this way, she's not just warming you up socially. She's testing how you respond physically and how your energy meets hers. Because touch activates oxytocin, the bonding hormone that deepens attraction. Her subconscious mind uses that gesture to measure chemistry and emotional connection without words. It's her way of feeling how you react. And if the energy flows naturally, she'll mirror it next time with even bolder touches. And from a behavioral science perspective, these layered touches serve as subtle trust reinforcers. The human brain interprets them as safety and acceptance cues. So the more naturally you respond, the stronger her internal attraction loop becomes, creating a bond that feels emotionally and physically charged. And according to somatic psychology, this double touch can even trigger micro-responses in your nervous system, where your body begins to associate her with relaxation and pleasure, making her presence increasingly magnetic. And from a neurological viewpoint, researchers have observed that such multi-point contact can activate both sensory and emotional processing centers in the brain, simultaneously creating an enhanced memory imprint of the person touched. This means her greeting doesn't just feel good, it literally becomes unforgettable to your mind and body. 6. She greets you with a vocal drop. You've heard her greet other people that day. Upbeat, normal tone, casual. But when she greets you, her voice shifts. Maybe it's slower. Maybe it dips into a lower register. Maybe she drags out your name in a way that almost feels like she's tasting it. Sexual arousal changes vocal tonality, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically, and it's one of the easiest things to slip past her conscious control. That slight change isn't performance. It's biological psychology and human behavior. Studies show that when a woman feels physical attraction, her voice often lowers slightly, and her speech slows down, creating a more sensual rhythm. It's a natural way of drawing your attention and deepening emotional resonance. Her voice becomes a signal of emotional and sexual readiness, and even though she might not intend to show it, your brain picks up that frequency, instantly recognizing it as warmth, familiarity, and allure, all wrapped into one simple greeting that tells you more than words ever could. And this subtle drop in tone is rooted in biology, because a softer, slower voice creates intimacy and focus, stimulating your parasympathetic system and making you feel more relaxed and connected, which in turn strengthens mutual attraction. It's a rhythm that lingers even after the greeting ends, leaving an invisible imprint that keeps you thinking about her long after she's gone. And from a communication psychology viewpoint, her vocal shift may even synchronize with your tone, unconsciously forming what experts call vocal mirroring, which enhances bonding and amplifies emotional intimacy, making that simple hello feel like a moment charged with silent electricity that neither of you can quite explain, but both can feel deeply. And what's even more compelling is that this subtle vocal chemistry is supported by acoustic psychology findings showing that vocal patterns can influence hormone responses, particularly cortisol and oxytocin, meaning that one soft hello can actually alter both your emotional and physiological states, connecting you in ways words alone never could.